Across the natural world, young animals spend vast amounts of time and energy at play. But play is a behaviour that has long been overlooked by science.
Play used to be thought of as a useless, functionless activity, but now we understand that play is extremely important.
In fact, scientists now think play is so important, it's fundamental to almost everything an animal learns.
It's something that we're really only just starting to fully appreciate now, and these benefits are really diverse.
In this episode, we explore new research that reveals the amazing powers of play. From helping animals hone their instincts, defy aging, and even learn skills once thought to be exclusive to humans. We are only beginning to realise the true powers of animals at play. In the jungles of Thailand, there is a predator with a playful side. These clouded leopard cubs are just 6 months old. They're being raised at a conservation centre to help boost species numbers. And like many young animals, they love nothing more than a game of chase. And they play it time and time again. Clouded leopard expert Bill Wood has hand-raised these youngsters since they were just 2 weeks old and knows how much of their day is dedicated to repetitive play.
As you can see, these cubs are so playful at the moment. In fact, it's probably the most playful stage of their lives. It's the same behaviours over and over again. A lot of chasing, a lot of climbing, jumping on each other, play fighting. They're constantly playing.
To use up so much energy on one seemingly pointless behaviour would appear evolutionary madness. Yet, throughout the natural world, young animals seem determined to do it. So why don't they get bored of playing the same games? Scientists think the answer may lie in new research.
To really understand how play behavior works, it helps to have a look at what the brain is doing.
One of the things we're finding is that while animals play, there are chemical changes in the brain involving endorphins, opioids, dopamine. A variety of different chemicals seem to underlie and be enhanced by playing.
Dopamine and endorphins are the body's reward chemicals. They give animals and us a feel-good factor. They're also highly addictive. This dopamine hit is what drives the cubs to play the same games over and over. And that repetition is critical. With every playful leap or pounce, a neural pathway is formed in their brain. This process of neurons wiring is called synaptogenesis.
Neurons that fire together wire together. Therefore, every time an action is repeated, the connection is strengthened.
By playing endless games of chase, vital skills like climbing and pouncing become hardwired in the brain. Raising young cubs, Bill knows just how important these repetitive games are.
At this age, the cubs often make mistakes. You see them slipping down out of the tree or tumbling down. Over the next few months, they're going to refine those behaviours, and once they become adults, you'll never see any mistakes from them.
The addictive nature of play is evolution's way of making animals repeat actions in order to hone their skills. It will allow these clouded leopards to become formidable tree-based hunters. So, that's why animals play. But in order for scientists to better understand its benefits, they've had to define what play actually is. So they've come up with 5 simple rules. Rule number 1.
The behavior is something that the animal engages in voluntarily.
Number 2.
The reward is the activity itself. In other words, it's not for an obvious goal, such as mating or eating.
Rule number 3.
It may occur much earlier in the animal's life than normally we would see the serious version of that behavior, such as in play fighting.
Number 4.
The behavior is repeated over and over again.
And finally, rule number 5.
The animal has to be pretty healthy in a safe, relaxed state.
Any behavior meeting these 5 criteria is scientifically play. It was always assumed that playful behavior was only practiced by mammals.
Historically, we thought it was just the upper echelons of the animal kingdom, the humans, and maybe a few of the more intelligent primates, the great apes, possibly.
But as usual, when we look at nature, we're in for some surprises.
Scientists are starting to discover that play may be more widespread than previously thought. With extraordinary examples cropping up in unexpected places. On a remote island in Indonesia lives a species of lizard that you wouldn't dream had a playful side. The Komodo dragon, measuring up to 3 meters long. It's the largest lizard on Earth. These reptiles have venom so potent that they can take down prey almost 10 times their own body size. But could Komodo dragons also have an appetite for fun? Professor Gordon Berghardt has been studying them in captivity for the last 20 years. And his work has revealed a softer side.
There was a captive Komodo dragon that I had heard was doing some pretty interesting things that might look like play. When the keeper went in to the enclosure and had a notebook in his pocket, the Komodo dragon reached up and grabbed it out of his pocket and ran off with it. The dragon was interacting with objects, and that's something that normally you would never see with a reptile.
Since hearing about this remarkable behaviour, Gordon has been testing the playful nature of Komodo dragons for himself. And today, he wants to demonstrate his findings. Which means entering the dragon's den.
Many people may think that Komodo dragons are just killing machines and very dangerous. But actually, their life is quite complex. We can see that they play, they have bonding with their keepers in captivity. So there's much more to their behavior than just their killing instinct.
Gordon introduces a few novel objects to test how the dragon will react. This female is immediately curious. And Gordon is convinced that what she does next is a behaviour that crosses the line into play.
If she's just checking it out and not doing anything, then it's more exploratory behavior. But once she starts interacting with it in more than just a cursory fashion, then we would consider that object play.
The more time the lizard spends with the objects, the more playful her behaviour becomes.
This is really fascinating. Clearly, it's play behavior, as far as I can see.
During his research, Gordon has observed the dragons playing repeatedly with objects on their heads. It's led him to wonder how a lizard might benefit from this type of play in the long run.
It dawned on me that this behavior is probably derived from their communal feeding behavior. These animals can bring down a large carcass, and they have to disembowel it and actually put their heads deep into the carcass to get the food.
Gordon's groundbreaking observations are one of the first examples of play behaviour ever recorded in reptiles.
Part of the problem is that we think of play as something that's fun. And it's very hard to look at a lizard and say they're having fun. We have no problem with a dog.
Gordon is determined to change the way science looks at play.
One of the goals in my research over the years about play is to expand our conception of play and the species that engage in play.
Komodo dragons aren't the only species to have revealed their playful side. Scientists are now discovering many more surprising and extraordinary examples of animals at play.
We're finding that more species are playing. We're finding more areas of play and different types of play all the time.
From sledging crows to juggling otters, fun-loving fish, and what exactly is this octopus playing at? While some of this behaviour might just be for fun, there is growing evidence to suggest that play is a very serious pastime. So serious, some animals will risk their lives to do it. In Thailand's Phetchaburi forest lives the gibbon, king of the swingers. Adults move through the canopy by hurling themselves huge distances, propelled by arms twice as long as their bodies. They can cover over 10 meters from tree to tree. This daredevil method of locomotion is called brachiating. But 15 meters up, one slip could be fatal. Especially for a novice. This young male is just 8 months old. Since birth, he spent his life gripping tightly to his mother. But it's time he learnt to brachiate for himself. In order to learn, gibbons have evolved a particularly risky kind of play. First, just one-handed swinging. But young gibbons can spend up to 20% of their waking hours catapulting themselves between flimsy branches high in the canopy. These death-defying leaps must be some of the most extreme and hazardous forms of play in the animal kingdom. But as young gibbons develop into adolescence, they begin to test their abilities in even more dangerous ways. To really get to grips with their treetop world, juveniles have been seen taking an enormous risk. It's thought that gibbons allow themselves to fall by momentarily letting go of branches. It seems like an extremely high-stakes game, but it serves an important function.
One of the leading theories for play is that play trains you for the unexpected.
This is when an animal, through its play behaviour, can encounter novel situations that it didn't expect, and more importantly, learn how to overcome them.
The jungle canopy is unpredictable. At any moment, branches can give way. So even though it comes with great risks, the power of this perilous play prepares gibbons for how to react should they fall for real. Which in the treetops could be a lifesaver. But for one group of animals, it's not how they play, but what they play with that's critical to their survival. Young carnivores are among the most playful animals on the planet. And science suggests there might be a good reason why. To be successful, they must acquire sophisticated skills. Some need to develop extreme physical abilities. Others must learn to work as a team. Or even master the art of outsmarting prey. Because their life depends on perfecting one of the most difficult skills in nature: hunting. And there's one thing all young predators have in common. They like to play with objects. Young lion cubs have a favourite natural resource to play with: dried elephant dung. The perfect toy to paw at and wrestle with. Helping them get to grips with the power of their teeth and claws. And allowing them to practice the handling techniques they'll need when hunting for real. This sort of object play can help predators refine their skills. But one hunter takes object play to a whole new level. The plains of Namibia. Home to one of the planet's supreme hunters. The cheetah. The fastest land animal on Earth. These agile cats are highly effective pursuit predators. They can accelerate from 0 to 60 miles per hour in less than 3 seconds. And can cover 8 meters in a single stride. "50% of their hunts end in a kill. It's a high hit rate for a cat. And this hunting success could come down to the way they play with objects when young. Marlies van Vuren has been looking after orphan cheetahs for over 30 years and believes the power of object play is so integral to their development, she uses it to train her cheetahs to be wild again.
For us, it's important to have them happy. If it's a happy cat, it's a healthy cat. For a cheetah to survive in the wild, it's really important for them to have all the skills. They have to be fast enough, they have to be fit, they have to have the knowledge to catch the animal and actually kill it. They learn out of playing. So we constantly have to think of new innovative toys and ideas to keep them going and motivated.
Today, Marlies is working with these 3-year-old cats, triggering their playful instincts with a slightly unconventional ball game.
They like us and they like children. When you get a new toy, they're very excited and everybody's curious what it is.
These games allow the youngsters to learn about the unpredictable ways that objects move, much like their prey. It's through this kind of play that Marlies is able to spark their killer instincts.
Cheetahs have a very strong hunting instinct. They have it from a very young age. It's genetically programmed in them. And you can see the minute they start playing and they can move, actually, it's always in a hunting mode.
There's a reason this dynamic object play is particularly common in predatory animals.
Let's think about the complexity of the world of a carnivore. A carnivore's life depends on successfully chasing something that doesn't want to be chased. So a carnivore needs to think ahead, to deal with unpredictability, to be fast, to be very clever.
These unusual games help our cheetahs to hone their hunting skills.
It's kind of similar that they would do with a baby springbok. They try and trip it the whole time. So with balls, it's the same thing, and you can kick it back and forth and they can get their interest going like that. That is vital for them to learn and to eventually put that into practice when they go out in the wild.
Playing with unpredictable objects improves a young cheetah's agility. But it isn't just giving them a physical workout.
One of the things that we're finding out is that play is not just a way of exercising the body, but also the brain, because play involves lots of decision-making and fast responses.
If they're to survive, cheetahs not only need to hit top speeds of 70 miles per hour, they also need to make split-second decisions about which targets to pursue. And, perhaps more importantly, when to call it quits. To help her cats sharpen their decision-making skills, Marlies has devised some extreme object play. An industrial-sized game of cat and mouse.
The lure works on a pulley system, and we have up to 6 to 8 pulleys, so you can make it into squares, triangles, zigzag.
It might look like a physical game, but this is also a mental puzzle. Each time the lure passes, the cheetah makes a quick decision about the likelihood of catching it. Not all are worth their energy. Young predators seem to benefit from this kind of self-assessment play.
The self-assessment theory is, quite simply, testing one's own boundaries.
A cheetah cannot afford to go on a hunt that will not be successful too many times. It has only so much energy. So to know its limits is crucial. Through play, a cheetah can know, can I afford to go on this hunt now, or should I stop?
In the wild, young cubs would hone these skills each time they play with siblings or toy with injured prey. So Marlies is keen to ensure her own cheetahs get a chance to improve their craft.
When they go out in the wild and they now be released, they need to use all the skills that they've learned in playing. They need to be able to use that knowledge on a proper hunt.
Automated cat and mouse is one good way to develop her cheetah's skills. But Marlies has another trick up her sleeve. An even more extreme and innovative way to help keep her cheetahs on their toes.
We use newer technology and use drones. And if you keep it on eye level, just in front of them, they would normally try and catch it. For us, it's really important because they have to have a depth perception and they have to know what their capabilities are of when do they start running. If they go out in the wild, they can select whatever we've taught them to really prepare themselves for this hunt, and it has to be successful. So it's vital that we actually let them play and learn everything before they go.
So, for predators, playing with objects is a way to keep them physically fit and mentally sharp. But when it comes to the mind, new science is showing play could have an even more fundamental effect. Not only rewiring the brain, but also possibly causing parts of it to grow. The African elephant is thought to be one of the most intelligent animals on the planet. At 7 months old, this calf has a lot to learn. Her young brain is about half of its adult weight, so millions of neural pathways need building. Pathways that will allow her to express empathy, communicate, socialise in complex ways, and hold on to lifelong memories. She learns all of this by having one of the longest and most playful childhoods in the animal kingdom. They do say an elephant never forgets.
Young brains, it's often said, are just like sponges. They can absorb information from all around them.
This is a time where exploring the world is at its height, and it's the perfect window for learning.
At this stage, when the brain is developing quite so rapidly and in so many different ways, it's the perfect time to experience and develop play behavior.
Her play will help her learn the extraordinary range of locomotor skills an elephant needs. And one of the first things to master is her trunk. And with 150,000 muscle fibres to control, that's no walk in the park. They use their trunks to feed, to communicate with each other, and they even suck their trunks like a child would suck their thumb. Ultimately, all that time spent playing will pay off. By the time she's 2 years old, this calf will have the dexterity to pick individual leaves off a tree. But as they grow older, these intelligent animals must play in more complex ways. And the reason she can take her time comes down to one thing: the bond between a mother and her young. This calf is just 4 months old. And for the next 8 years, she'll rarely stray more than 5 meters from her mother's side. Meaning she'll be constantly protected. But more importantly, she will feed on her mother's milk. Drinking over 14 litres a day, whenever and wherever she can. These calories on tap give elephant and all larger mammals a unique advantage. They have plenty of time and endless energy for fun.
Play is expensive in energy. It takes calories. So animals that have excess energy, excess calories, are the ones that will be able to play more.
This mammalian trait could be even more beneficial than first thought. Because some scientists now think there could be a link between play and intelligence.
Some studies have even shown that through extended play behavior, the brain actually develops in particular areas, and certain areas or regions within the brain actually become much larger.
Play is fundamentally linked to intelligence. But do intelligent animals play because they can? Or does play make an animal intelligent?
It's really complex. The two are tightly woven together, and play forms just one strand of an incredibly rich set of behaviors associated with these very intelligent, very social species.
Some scientists now think that this time and energy for playing can help elephants and other young mammals develop complex social skills, making them the most intelligent group in the animal kingdom. But play isn't just for youngsters. There's one mammal that plays games deep into adulthood. And the effects are proving extraordinary. The mountains overlooking the ancient city of Kyoto are home to one remarkable primate. The Japanese macaque. These wise old monkeys can live for over 30 years. As with nearly all animals, it's the younger members of society that do most of the monkeying around. Young macaques use play to expend excess energy, as well as strengthening muscles. Like most animals, when macaques reach adulthood, at around 4 years old, the majority of them stop playing. But this particular troop is an exception to the rule. The monkeys here continue one highly unusual form of play all their lives. Professor Michael Huffman has been studying these monkeys for the last 40 years and was the first to record this new and intriguing type of play within the troop.
When I first came to this mountain to study Japanese macaques, I saw one individual, a young female about 3 years old. She came out from the forest with a few stones in her hands, and she placed them on the flat, open area and began to stack them on top of each other. It blew my mind because I didn't quite understand what she was doing, but the first thing that came to mind was she's like a little child with her toys. Took a few pictures and I made a short note, but for the remaining 6 months of the 12-month study, I never saw the behavior again.
This unusual form of play is known as stone handling, and when Mike returned 3 years later, he made a remarkable discovery. It had spread to nearly half of the troop.
I was astonished. On the very first day, I saw about 8 juvenile males on the roof with stones pounding, making quite a sound.
Mike noticed that the macaques all play with the stones in different ways. Some monkeys are rollers. Others are grinders. And then there are the hoarders. In fact, scientists have identified 45 different ways that these macaques engage in stone handling. In just 3 years, this new game had spread through the troop like wildfire and was being played by young adults and babies too. And the babies begin showing an interest in stone handling when they're just 3 weeks old.
In young monkeys, their motor neural development is still very much taking place. They're very awkward at everything they do. So by handling stones, it probably helps them to develop these neural pathways that allow them to behave in a more precise manner.
So for the youngsters, playfully manipulating stones could help them develop critical motor skills by exercising the brain. But by 4 years old, their brains have fully developed and they've mastered the use of their muscles. So the big question is, why are these adult macaques still playing with stones?
This is very unique in the animal kingdom for a play behavior to be exhibited by adults. And what's even more interesting is that they continue to practice it into their old age.
Mike believes that the older macaques are also giving their brains a workout, but for very different reasons. For them, it might be to prevent an inevitable downside of growing old.
Clinical studies have shown that humans who continue to play board games, musical instruments, just keep active in older age, they're less likely to develop dementia than those that don't. And if we transfer that to the Japanese macaque, the stone-handling Japanese macaque, and the idea that it keeps their brains healthy, perhaps it gives the elderly that edge that allows them to maneuver throughout their environment safely, and perhaps that extends in some way their longevity.
Like humans, macaques can become forgetful in their old age and begin to lose their mental agility. This cognitive dysfunction is similar to dementia or Alzheimer's disease. It's possible that by playing creatively with their stones, macaques are actually slowing down this aging process. We know complex games like crosswords help us into our old age. So it's possible the same is happening for the macaques. Over his 40 years studying the stone-handling monkeys in this troop, Mike has observed that their life expectancy has increased. He believes this could be as a direct result of the games they play.
Part of the reason is said to be that those motor neural connections are actually being regenerated. New pathways are being generated, which allows the monkey to kind of build back up its brain power.
And it appears that this behavior is now spreading. Other troops of macaques in Japan have been seen stone handling, suggesting that for some animals, play behavior isn't fixed, but is constantly evolving, potentially allowing them to master new skills. But the power of object play can be even more profound than this. The most complex games have allowed a select few species to master the ultimate skill in the natural world. The forests of Uganda. Home to one of the brainiest animals on the planet. The chimpanzee, one of our closest living relatives, sharing around 96% of our DNA. Our similarities are clear to see. Studies of young chimpanzees have shown that they play in much the same way as humans. Finding fun in things like chasing, laughing, and swinging. Being highly intelligent, chimpanzees are extremely inquisitive. And their curious play makes them good at solving problems. Primatologist Edwin van Leeuwen has worked with chimpanzees for 11 years. He has come to the Uganda Wildlife Education Centre to study the benefits of primate play.
Come on, come on. This chimpanzee is 4 years old. And it's an age that they play a lot and find fun in discovering new things. This is what I love about chimpanzees and working with them, their inquisitiveness and their genuine interest in the world around them.
With interest comes discovery.
So the chimpanzee is clearly intrigued by the handkerchief. It's trying every possible thing that it can think of, folding it and unfolding it and trying to tear it apart, putting the handkerchief over its face, and thereby exploring all possible ways that it can use the handkerchief. Chimpanzees and actually animal species in general that play a lot, they are better adapted. They have more like tools in their behavioral repertoire to deal with the challenges in life.
By experimenting like this, the chimpanzees have a way of trying new things and making discoveries. Scientists call this creative play.
Creative play is a highly complex and specialized area within the play behaviors. It's where imagination and this sense of exploration really bubble to the surface, and it's associated with some of the most intelligent species on Earth.
Play is the source of creativity and new ways of dealing with the world. So many people who are inventors or artists or scientists, it's often viewed that they are playing.
It's this type of play which allows new discoveries to be made.
This kind of creative play prevents animals from becoming fixed on certain false endpoints.
False endpoints refer to when an animal thinks that they've found the best solution to a problem, something that works well enough. But by continuing to play, they may eventually come up with something that might work even better. This kind of play has conditioned their brains to come up with new ways to solve old problems. Take something basic, like drinking from a water hole. Most animals, including apes, lower their mouths to the water. But when the level begins to fall, this chimp relies on a solution he's found through creative play.
This is a perfect example of overcoming false endpoints. The chimpanzees normally crouch down to drink water, and when it doesn't work anymore, they have to find another solution. And they learn these new solutions by means of play. And here we saw that the chimpanzee was then using its hand to form it in a cup and then bring the water to its mouth. So it had a new way of solving the same problem.
For chimpanzees and a few other select animals, it's thought that this type of creative play has led to one game-changing discovery. To demonstrate what that is, Edwin is setting up a well-known chimpanzee experiment. He wants to show how their time spent playing with objects allows them to solve a puzzle that would not be possible with just their bare hands.
So I have put honey in this termite mound, and what we're hopefully are going to see is that the chimpanzees are going to extract the honey from the termite mound.
All that's needed now are some willing volunteers with a sweet tooth. To get their hands on the high energy reward inside, the chimps need to get creative. They know the sticks could be useful. But they're not all up to the job.
Some less experienced individuals might use less efficient tools with all the leaves still on it.
Through creative play, the more experienced individuals have worked out how to fashion tools that are more suitable.
So here we have noticed that chimpanzees actually use tools to extract the honey from the termite mound, and that some chimpanzees have been able to strip off the leaves to make the tools even more efficient, like we're seeing here. For a long time, humans considered themselves as the only species with the ability to use tools, and we now know that many species use tools and that chimpanzees are among the most proficient of those species.
Thanks to the knowledge they have gained by playing with sticks in this way. Today, these chimps are able to get their sweet reward.
Chimpanzees derive a certain pleasure from persistently trying things and things over and over again. Even when they don't work, they will still continue trying it. And sometimes they're lucky. And I think that's one of the reasons that they get to these solutions.
Creative play has led chimpanzees and a few other highly intelligent species to the use of tools, allowing them to get their hands on things they otherwise couldn't reach. Long-tailed macaques in Thailand use stones to break open shellfish. While bearded capuchin monkeys in Brazil have found an ingenious way of getting into energy-rich nuts by using heavy stones and an anvil. These creative solutions would have all stemmed from some form of inventive play. And this creativity is very likely to have led humans to many life-changing discoveries. So aside from being fun, play is beginning to reveal its surprising secrets. From making connections in the brain and helping animals thrive in their unpredictable worlds, to keeping minds young. Play has many purposes, and the chances are there is a lot more to learn.
The more we study play, the more we realize that the benefits of play are much more profound and revelatory than we used to think.
As scientists delve deeper and understand more fully this intriguing animal behavior, the true powers of play continue to be revealed. It is possible we are yet to realize the wide-ranging benefits that playtime might have for us all.
Ponies and pigs in an enchanting landscape later. Over on BBC4, A Year in the Wild, The New Forest is at 8. And you can see the next episode of this series, Animals at Play, right now. It's streaming on BBC iPlayer. Whale and dolphin spotting next on BBC Two. It's Mediterranean with Simon Reeve.